welcome to or welcome back to Amanda Sawyer Art. My name's Amanda and I like dinosaurs and art. Today I am doing a peony tattoo design thingamabob. I saw these tattoo designs on Pinterest a few times and I was hooked. I loved the look that these tattoos had with the backgrounds that they had on them, and so I wanted to create my own version of it. I've been wanting to practice drawing flowers more and more because my favorite tattoos are ones of flowers, but I don't think I'm the best at drawing them, or I'm just really slow at drawing them, if that makes sense. So I wanted to start practicing that. I thought this would be a quick little fun video, easy peasy, but no, it's taken me days to do because I struggle with flowers. I've watched a few videos on how to draw peony, which are my favorite flowers, so that's why I chose to do the peony here. I watched a few videos, so I had that grasp on the basics on how to start the flower, but what I struggled with was the shading, and that took me quite some time to figure out. Went through a bunch of phases until today when I finally got it down and I had to redo the entire big flower. That was fun. I was really happy about that. Anyways, another part that was hard for me to figure out was how to line the flowers. I ended up doing for everything a nice soft outlining process, which I liked the way that looked. In the end, it probably would have been more beneficial to me if I had done thicker outlines for that. You'll see with my shading, I do a lot of, it's more contrasty, so it would have actually saved me some time if I did some thick outlines there, but you live and you learn. Right now I'm adding the black circle background. This is what inspired me to do this piece, is I just kept seeing people have these beautiful floral tattoos with black circles, black ovals behind them, and I was so inspired by that, so I had to create my own, and I thought it'd be a fun practice piece because I don't normally draw too many flowers. I did for a little while there, but then I slowed down, and I don't think I'm the greatest at drawing them, or I just need practice. I don't know. It's just one of those things, you just gotta practice more. Anyways, so this was kind of motivation for me to do it. Again, I thought it was gonna be an easy peasy lemon squeezy video, just a quick floral drawing. No, it took me way longer to do it. I did most of it yesterday, and today I'm sitting here finishing up recording, finishing up the whole voiceover part, thinking, oh good, it's over. I don't have to draw this flower anymore. The main reason I say that is I worked really hard on the shading aspect. I cut out a lot of footage, and when I say a lot, I actually mean like there's a lot of footage I had to cut out because it's just me doing the shading over and over again and restarting over and over again. So what I ended up doing was just cutting out most of that. I kept some of it just so you could see me struggle, and you know, to prove my point of I struggled with this, but in the end I do like the result I got. It took me quite a while to get there, many hours of trial and error, but I finally got there. The flower I was mainly looking at as my inspiration was not a peony, but it had the circle background, so I really wanted to focus in on it. The shading on that flower was stippling, so basically just a bunch of dots all merged together to do the shading. I love that style, but I have a bad wrist and it's been doing pretty good recently. I just didn't want to trigger it by doing dots and dots and dots over and over again over this entire piece. I ended up doing a lot of stippling in the center of the flower, but I just knew my wrist couldn't handle me doing the entire shading with stippling, especially on an iPad. I found that to be a little bit harder on my wrist to try that stippling effect, so I think that was my struggle, was I wasn't doing the same technique they used in the picture I was very inspired by, and I ended up just kind of winging it. It took me quite a while to get to the spot where I got it to, And last night I left it and I liked where it was at. And then today I did the 2 smaller flowers and I ended up hyping up the contrast, so I added way more black and shadows into it. And that's when I looked at the whole thing. I'm like, these flowers look so good. These 2 small flowers. I loved how they looked. And then I looked at my big flower and I was like, oh no, this whole thing would need to be darkened up. And to make sure I was happy with the final result, I went back through and did every single stroke pretty much again and shaded it to make it darker. So this piece took me quite a while to do. I'm watching this back, trying to think of topics to talk about, and all I can think is, I'm so glad I'm done drawing this. I'm really happy with my end result. There's not much I could say. I think my brain is kind of fried from this whole project. Right here you can see me starting the smaller flowers. I did a quick time lapse of these ones from just the Procreate app because it's basically me shading the flower over and over again. And I figured you guys kind of don't want to watch the same thing happen over and over and over again. The top right flower ended up being my favorite flower out of all of them, even after I hyped up the contrast on the center one. I just love how that one looked. They do kind of make me think of cabbage though. I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting flowery vibes. Maybe I should uncolor for them just so it's not too cabbagey. Oh well, it is what it is now. Right here's where I did the center. I knew I wanted the center to be a lot darker than the flower itself. I just didn't know how I was going to go about it. All I was thinking was this is the finish line. I just have to make this work, and here we go. Right here you can hear, well not here, but you can see me discover a random black mark that was there on the big layer I had just combined together. I was very, very devastated when I saw that line. I was like, no, everything looks so good. I don't think I did the greatest of patch jobs, but at that point, I was like, it's just one petal. It's not 100% how I wanted it to look. That's okay. Here you can see me stippling on the center flower. I kept changing the size of my pen so that way it didn't bother my wrist too much. So I used some bigger ones to block it in. Then I did some smaller ones. And in the end, you will see that probably didn't need to stipple that much because it ends up being almost a black hole in that spot. Again, this whole piece is just a live and you learn. If I could go back in time and just tell myself, hey, why don't you just make that mostly black and then, you know, do some white little dots on top, or just erase some of it from the top, probably would have been a quicker and better solution. It's all good though. I got some practice in with my stippling. I haven't done that in a while. I love stippling. I love the way it looks. So there's that. For the center of the flower, I had really no idea how to do it. The reference pictures I had for like drawing style for a peony definitely did not have one that was center facing this much. All of them were either like a little off to the side and all that, and so I really was kind of on my own for this. I should have been a little bit more diligent, but the flower I was using reference for was not a drawing of a flower. It was actually a photograph that I was using, and I stopped looking at that for reference after I got the petals in. I just was going to shade it how I wanted to. I'm sure the light source is kind of wonky on this, but I'm just happy I finished the flower, so the light source doesn't need to be exactly perfect. I wanted to get some of those like pollen-y aspects of the center. I don't know what they're called. You'll see in a little bit. I had some white dots and some lines just to add some funness, and I think that helped the center of the flower come to life a little bit more because I had no idea what to do. It was either going to be all black or I had some fun textures, and so I added some fun textures. For this flower, I ended up with 2 different finished pieces. I ended up adding some gold bordering around the whole thing, and then I ended up not putting the gold bordering around the whole thing. So there are technically 2 finished pieces for this. I actually don't know which one I like more. I don't know if I like the gold bordering or if I like the just plain black and white. So at the very end, I have a little thing pop up that'll say gold or nah. And it's really up to you. Leave in the comments below what you think is better. Do you think the gold is better, or do you think the just black and white is better? Let me know. I don't know. I like both. They both have different things about them that I like. I kind of think the gold bordering is a little bit cool, and it's different than the inspiration picture, so I liked that aspect of it as well. Let me know below. So you'll see both of them side by side, and then I have it to where you see one of them one at a time, so that way you get a nice little idea of what they look like. If you want better looks, you can go onto my Instagram. It's AmandaSora Art. I'll have a little pop-up here that has my Instagram name. And you can go there and see them up close. You can zoom in a little bit more and get a better look at them there. That's all I have for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!